version of the news at 1 on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am reached after deliberation among stakeholders with an agreement that payment of the minimum wage will commence in January 2021 and the arrears will be paid from February 2021. We'll report in our subsequent news bulletin. Moving on now, FCT Local Education Authority teachers have undergone intensive COVID-19 preventive training upon resumption of schools to promote safety hygiene. Hadiza Godwin Ibuni report that is aimed at curbing the spread of the dreaded virus among school pupils as well as enhance conducive learning environments.
The resumption of academic activities in the FCT Local Education Authority schools is subject to strict adherence of the safety protocols. Teachers went through training on how to instill the good practice of hygiene on the pupils.
With the protocols of the federal, they are coming in, they wash their hands, and we have ordered them to come with their face masks. And those that doesn't have, we provide in.
I feel very happy because I've been observing my social distancing, washing of hands, sanitizing, and I feel so happy.
I'm very happy to be back to school. I'm coping with the COVID-19 protocol. As you can see, I'm wearing my face mask.
I've been using my hand sanitizers and wearing my nose mask.
I'm washing my hands, using my face mask, and sanitizing my hands.
The education sector had
of information sharing. Now, in recent time,
to carry out all its activities and also generate revenue, especially in the face of the coronavirus pandemic. Nigeria is also not left behind, especially with a revitalized Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy.
It is an attempt to change our perception of using ICT for socialization. That is why our focus now on ICT is not only to deploy our digital economy.
What
is there to reduce your cost? The ICT is there to control your timing. The ICT is there to improve on your security.
Danjuma advocates for more enlightenment on the importance of ICT, especially in the rural areas.
The awareness is there, but it's not really to the rural areas. There are a lot of our people in the rural areas that are enlightened a little, but they see the ICT as an expensive tool. So it's for those public, private and public people in the sector of ICT, with the emphasis of give the data service, to do their corporate social responsibility in
the Hamilton season set in. Health correspondent.
November till the middle of March every year is characterized by dry, dusty, northeast trade wind, which blows from the Sahara Desert over West Africa and into the Gulf of Guinea. During this period, most parts experience cold weather, while some hot, depending on the circumstances. Several studies over time shows that some illnesses and diseases specific the skin.
Very importantly, if you are going out, make sure you cover your body, your skin properly. So you dressed according to the season, okay? And then hydrate yourself, take enough water all the time. You know, that will lubricate your throat and avoid sore throat. Before COVID, I'm sure this is very strange to us. We don't usually use masks, but if you go to some Asian countries,
shortly with more reports.
Please cover your mouth like this with your bent elbow.
Cover my mouth for what? Corona don't go from Nigeria. I beg auntie, don't disturb my life.
No. Coronavirus pandemic is not over. Don't relent with soap and water for at least 20 seconds etiquette, including covering coughs and sneezes. Like that. Avoid close contact with a sick person. Cover your mouth and nose with a mask when around people. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces.
You're absolutely right. Coronavirus is still with us.
Remember, coronavirus pandemic is not over. Protect yourself and others to stay safe.
This message is brought to you by NTA Channel 5, Abuja, the Unity Station.
Many thanks for being there. Now, food preservation, which is simply the process of treating and handling food,
be attributed.
And the season will come, so the government need to provide storage facilities.
It is hoped that government and private individuals will encourage food preservation with more provision of infrastructure and adequate funding. Chidiman Sin Agomo, NTA News.
Now, 34-year-old Ismail Muhammad Mahmoud is seeking for the sum of 286,000 naira from well-meaning Nigerians to enable him undergo plastic surgery in Abuja for help.
8th of June 2018 remains a horrifying day to remember for Ismail Muhammad tanker fire accident that nearly consumed his life along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. This situation has completely changed the life of Ismaila, who is currently in need of assistance for a corrective plastic surgery at the National Hospital Abuja. The Kanu-born Ismaila said his present state has not only he is by this appealing for financial support to
Late Yima Sen, a political leader and philanthropist, has been described as one who gave his best in service to humanity. This was the testimony.
Speaker Professor Jibrin Jibo Ibrahim represented says late Professor Yima Sen in his lifetime elucidated the best paths to progress through remarkable events of his time, adding that Yima Sen was grounded in radical politics and activism and believed in pushing for progressive agenda at the policy level that will better the life of the masses.
For me, he was both a theoretician and a practitioner.
Yima was in the lead, was providing resources and was giving guidance and leadership.
Since his demise, the children say they have learned a new thing about their late father.
Saw my dad turn into business. He floated 3 outfits in consultancy and public affairs. And I pray that as he's up there, he meets up with Sue.
Late Yima Sen, who died in October 2020, to late President Shehu Shagari, office of the then Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, and UNDP Information and Public Affairs Advisor in 1987.
He never, at any time, was carried away or shied away from the political person that he was.
Yima is not dead, he lives. Thank you.
A very good time for us to pay tribute to Yima Sen.
Is someone who all of us here are connected in different ways.
And ended his career as a professor of communications at Base University, Abuja. Deborah Gazaji, Micah, NTA News.
Talking sport now, the 20th on Wednesday ahead of their AFCON qualifier clash with the Leon Stars of Sierra Leone, who came into the country yesterday. Let's join Abdullahi Ajia on Sports Brief for more.
The Super Eagles camp in Benin ahead of tomorrow's AFCON qualifier against the Leon Stars of Sierra Leone is reported to be bubbling, with the players in high spirit and preparations to continue their dominance over their opponent. Not optimistic of victory for the country.
It's also good for me to be back in the squad, and I think we are all ready and we'll give our all for this win.
I want to play fast and just make it hard for my opponent and win the game, of course.
Meanwhile, the Confederation of Africa Football (CAF) has lifted the ban on journalists willing to cover the qualifier matches. Earlier, the Africa Soccer Governing Body directed that all matches should be played behind closed door and no journalists should be allowed into the match venue. But on Tuesday, reversed its decisions by allowing some countries like Tanzania, Burundi, Mauritania, who have been able to contain the coronavirus, have fans in their stadium, and also renounced that journalists be allowed to cover the matches. To handball, as the 2020 Prudent Energy Handball Premier League gradually comes to a close, teams have continued to battle for glory, with Imo Grasshoppers playing Desert Queens, Edo Dynamos versus Adorable Angels, Kada Queens